Alright, here we go. Another Ather Race video that I got in store. This first one is actually a pretty quick match, or it was actually a pretty quick match since there are so many openings here for me to initiate into. Just got to break a few structures and then go up, smack the units. The pairing of Alphonse and Corrin normally does not go well together, typically doesn't go well together because of the conflicting terrains, or rather the overlapping terrains. One nullifies the other, so you end up with a free spot, and that's usually where I go ahead and take advantage of whatever it is that's being offered on the defense. So we got our Warp Squad and our Harmonic Lin, and we're going to go up here and take out some units. Most annoying thing here, man, Heimdall is really good. Yes, the Force Knight Snare is strong, but man, the stall is the most annoying thing in the world. It gets me every time, which is why Emblem Micaiah is quickly becoming one of my favorite units to use both on offense and on defense. But
say the word at your command.
Mainly on offense, since that's where you do more of your player phase stuff. But I don't have her for this season. It's really blessed for Anima. Rather Astra, so that's where she is. But I've really come around. Like when Micaiah first came out, I was like, man, this unit can't kill anything. Like she struggles to kill a BK. Now there's enough support to allow her to do it consistently. But when she first came out, Emblem Micaiah was kind of struggling, a bit lackluster. Her ring was the best thing about her, but the cleansing is so beneficial now and very important to have. So she's quickly become one of my favorite units in the game. Not as high as I would say Boulder. Is Boulder? I actually really, I know the story probably wasn't the greatest. Like I still think Veronica's story was substantially, like, so far my favorite story from the game. That was the one with Asker and Embla. That's so far my favorite story in the game. But Boulder and Valley are, I think, two of the best characters they've created so far, or adapted so far into the story. They are so adorable, so strong, so versatile in terms of how they play. I just really like those two. So yeah, always a fun time to get to use them. And yeah, we're just breaking noses here and just going about our business. Should be a pretty quick clear. Already got most of the pots, so not much else for us to do here. So, like I said, this one's going to be wrapped up pretty soon. So let's just talk about a few of the animes that I've been watching. I finished Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider, and man, that thing was a blast. It's so silly. A ton of fighting, a ton of gender equality, which you rarely see in anime. There's usually never the guy hitting the girl. Like the guys and the girls in this one were having straight up fist fights. The girls were getting punched in the face, kicked in the face. I love to see it. It was so much fun. And they were fighting monsters, beasts. It just brought back a lot of a lot of my excitement for the series. I think, like I was watching it, I was like, I can remember watching this. Is it a series? It's kind of like Power Rangers. But before Power Rangers, I'm pretty sure it was before Power Rangers, and I remember watching it as a kid. I was like, man, he has a weird beetle helmet on. He's a guy in a tracksuit doing karate. It was always so cool watching the fights and watching the sparks. I was like, how is the sparks coming off his latex? That's definitely not safe. But yeah, it brought back a lot of memories of my childhood, and to see it in an animated format was definitely entertaining, and it was just a ton of fun. Hopefully they can figure out a season 2, because I think it would do fairly well. But also, I kind of like with the 24 episode run, they kind of covered everything that they really needed to. A lot of the emotional beats were covered. I really don't know what the story would entail if they were to do a season 2. But it was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that one, and I waited for like 5 weeks just for them to wrap up everything so I could just binge the last couple episodes. And the last episode was a ton of fun. That last fight was really enjoyable. And it's relatable because it's about an old guy, living his childhood dream, and that just is relatable because a lot of us are old and still watching these animes, about our childhood, our childhood loves and stuff. So totally enjoyed that one. Definitely recommend. And this match here definitely made my head hurt. This is the type of maps these days that I just, like, every time I see them, I go, oh, man, this is going to be a struggle. I'm going to need to turn on the brain because a lot of stuff here that was, or could be potentially difficult to handle if you don't have the right team for it. And I don't think I don't think Thor really helped me a ton here. There is an opening spot over there on the, like I said, on the always one on either the left hand or the right hand side, and I saw the one on the left hand side this time. But yeah, there just wasn't a ton of openings here for me, so I had to wait until turn 3 to get the extra unit in to get some additional actions, and then from there I was able to slowly figure things out. Nurgle was an additional challenge, but thankfully the extra unit here has an AoE to help turn off Nurgle's stuff. So Ather really came in clutch here because I would have gotten hit and lost all of my bonuses, which weren't that many, but they were definitely helpful bonuses. So I definitely wanted to keep those around. So Ather coming in as the bonus unit here was definitely a huge help to clearing this particular map. So gotta shout her out before I forget. Also, they put in a lot of new soundtracks, and the thing is, when you're playing, you probably don't even notice the soundtracks. Well, at least when I'm playing, I don't notice the soundtracks because I'm so locked in and focused all the time that I don't always take note unless the song is like a total banger. But some of the times I miss those soundtracks, coming on. But a lot of the new ones have been pretty decent. Just wanted to highlight that real quick. But yeah, this was a very good defensive setup here from my opponent. We have the off-season Elise. Well, is it fire season? Actually, I didn't even set my defense. I just didn't change anything. I forgot that I had Fjorm on there, and I forgot that I had Black Knight on there. And Black Knight, it's not fire season. So I think Elise and Black Knight here are both off season, but it doesn't even matter. Once you get the win, you don't really take that much of a hit. You win more than you lose with this type of setup. Byleth in the back there was an opening that I was looking to potentially examine. Melee range. So getting up there was going to be important to being able to clear this. And then also Boulder here, she's not on the, right hand side? Is not covered by Hector. So that was another spot there. It's difficult here because you can't really put Elise in the front. He's set it up so that his tanks are frontliners. You can't really put Elise in the front because she could potentially get sniped easily. But also that would also increase your threat range, covering more of the bottom of the map if they don't have the safety fence, which I feel like you just gotta have it now because everything hits all the way in the back row and there's no way to be safe. So you might as well just run it.
Ready.
And yeah, you can't really put Elise in the front. Maybe, like, I sometimes experiment with putting Nurgle in the front just so that he can, kind of frontline, play around with traps and stuff. I experiment with that. He's probably the only one that you could potentially do that with, so that you could then cover enough space with your saves. But it's a decision that is really tough to make in terms of who do you put in the front. I always go with Valley. Like lately, I've been going to Valley in the front because she's difficult to kill. But yeah, overall, this is just a really good setup. I don't know how I feel about Byleth on defense, though. I don't think he nukes hard enough. Yes, you get the double dance, but I don't know. Like, I find that he's probably better placed on offense. I don't think he's the greatest unit on defense. Like, you have better options.
You wish me to
nuking, where nuking is concerned, and where support is concerned. I think you can get better options in both of those areas as opposed to using Byleth there. So, like I said, Loki was pretty underwhelming. She really needs that guaranteed follow-up. The reflex damage here, ensuring that the kill is done. I think she would have gotten that one shot if Valley wasn't there, though. I again tried to play around with Gale Force on her, but that didn't work, so she's running Arch Rival. Base kit, pretty much, I'm going to fodder this unit. It's just not the greatest, unfortunately. And you don't want to initiate into something like this, even if you're surviving, because of Nurgle. Like, if I was going to initiate, really needed to initiate on turn 1 and clear everything, but come turn 2 onwards, Nurgle's Essence Drain will be fully enabled. So you definitely need a strategy to neutralize that, and the AoE from Ather was my plan. As you can see me setting up here to get the Summon Circle unit in. But yeah, those are just some of the things that I wanted to point out here. I wasn't seeing, I don't remember. Oh yeah, they had the extra slot unit here. It was something that I was able to initiate on, so you'll see that on turn 3 as well, what they have there. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent defense. There are spots that could be improved on, but I think it was like, when I mashed into it, I was like, man, this is going to be a headache. Like, I knew it immediately. And it did take me quite a while to clear this. I'm not getting a lot of sleep lately, so I had to like put my phone down for like a bunch of, I took a nap and then came back to this one, which is, I gotta say, a really convenient feature to be able to basically save state the game and not have to worry about losing that match. Losing your attempt. I really like that feature that they built into the game. It's not in, well, actually, I don't really play too many other gachas, so I don't know if they're like that. But you know, if there's like a critical point in a lot of games, mobile games, and you kind of back out, it just doesn't save. So yeah, I gotta give props to Faye for that, or at least it's really in the makeup of the game. They haven't really done anything too dissimilar from baseline games in that way, I guess, because you are able to pause those and save and, you know, go back into it. So I love that that is included in some aspects here. Just again pointing that out. But this is me just making space, trying to get in there, trying to set it up so that I can initiate safely on turn 3. So let's just kick back and watch. It's not much longer until that happens. Back to anime.
You wish me to.
I have a lot of catching up to do. This is a fantastic season of anime. I waited. I've been patient. I've ignored everything. Like I skipped out on a ton of the memes and stuff, so I don't know what's going on. And now it's the time that I can actually go and binge watch everything. Like, there's so much that I want to catch up on. There's Jujutsu Kaisen, there's Apothecary Diaries, which is so weird. I don't know if it's like well, I gotta watch it to find out, but I don't know if it's a fall off or whatever the case is. Was it Apothecary? I think it is. But I don't really see a lot of talk about it, or at least this season of the show. And the first season was just massive, and like Mama was everywhere, but now you kind of don't really hear too much about it. So definitely want to see what's going on there. There's a couple others that I'm blanking on right now. Oh, and I also want to get back into Rick and Morty. I think that is coming up on the final season, so this is a great time to binge watch that if you've never really given it a chance. It's a fantastic show, very hilarious. The humor is like it's stupid humor. You just gotta pay attention. Whatever you need. See what's going on there, and I want to catch up to it, see what I've missed out on. I want to see how they wrap up the story. The story was actually going in a really good direction, so I hope they don't like pull a JJK on us. Well, maybe in recent times you'd probably say a Chainsaw Man, because, you know, hearing about how that ended. But yeah, definitely want to catch up on man, I just said the name of the show. Rick and Morty. Definitely want to catch up on Rick and Morty and see how they conclude things over there. And I love that the show is actually ending, because the thing, like, they got into Family Guy and The Simpsons got into the space where they can't end the show anymore. It just has to keep going. Like, there were certain stages at which it would have been, you know, fantastic to end the show, and they kind of just didn't capitalize on that, or the demand for the show was so great that they just didn't deem it necessary to stop. So I'm glad that while there is a really great demand for Rick and Morty, I'm glad that they've written the story in such a way that it can have a natural conclusion, and they're not just dragging it out for the sake of money. You know, that happens sometimes with shows like this. South Park is a really great example, and they've kind of just all transitioned into social commentary shows now, and you know, that's good for what it is, but they were so much more enjoyable when, or things I find are a lot more enjoyable when there's a finality to it, when you know that they're going to end at some point. And a lot of shows just don't, or a lot of the shows that I mentioned don't have that anymore. Like the chicken fights in Family Guy, those used to be so fantastic, well drawn out, well scripted. And now it's kind of lost its value because you just, you know, there's going to be another one. It's just a recurring thing that always comes back, and
Whatever you need.
the characters don't age. Like, the characters don't age. You have things that change, but a lot of it remains the same in terms of they always live in the same place. Suburbia. American Dad also fell into that trap.
Good morning.
Well, you know, I guess the quality of the show still is there. Like, those shows are still there, but I personally think there's a lot of enjoyment to be had, or a sense of completion and fulfillment when shows actually end. I think it's a key part of story writing, storytelling. Things need to wrap up. And while it is impressive that they've been able to keep it on this long, you know, that's just a critique that I just can't ignore. Like, something that I always bring up whenever a show just is ongoing
Whatever you need.
for so long. But yeah, Rick and Morty, definitely looking forward to that.
Which way?
And a few others. Here we go with the AoE on Hector. Hector getting hit with I was very surprised that Ather was able to get this kill. She did not hit Hector with the AoE. She basically just one-tapped him. And that was pretty impressive. Because she would have died to any type of follow-up attack. So that was actually really, really impressive. The other option would have been to try to figure out a way to get her to hit him with the AoE. And also, he doesn't take a ton of damage from AoEs anyways, so it wouldn't have mattered. He has a ton of AoE damage reduction, I believe, or if I remember correctly. So doing that now gave me a ton of space and a lot to work with here. And it's basically GG's once I was able to get her to Hector. The openings are there now, so Boulder can warp in. Even further, I have Brave Boulder here to help out with Black Knight, because he was surviving a lot of the hits that I was you know, trying to do, or a lot of the units I was trying. I had a lot of options basically, and I had to figure out which option I should go with to clear the map successfully. So that's really what's just going on here, and how to play this smartly. This Brave Bowler is still one of the most fantastic. The fact that you get 2 units in one, because of the color swap thing, I think that's going to keep aging very, very well. But yeah, I've been watching just a bunch of shows to pass the time until the season ended. There's this one show on Netflix that I got into as well. It's another animated series, another anime, that's what I'm talking about. I forgot the name. It was a romance, and I thought it was pretty well done. Period piece before about a Japanese girl that went to England to become a painter, and you know, falling in love and stuff like that. It was pretty good. It was pretty well done. Definitely a lot of romantic ambience created in the show. I think Love Through a Prism. Yes, that's what it was called. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. And a few others that I watched in between. Fate Strange Fake. That one was really confusing. It's so weird, like watching the Fate series or watching iterations of the Fate series that don't have Saber in them. Well, at least, you know, the Saber from the original. It feels a little bit but they did their best to put together a good project and put out something that was kind of entertaining. I didn't really like some of the direction that they went in, but they kind of put everything together at the end and made it make sense, which I still haven't watched the full ending yet, but Um, the Fate series is very confusing. That much I will say. It's a very confusing series, which is why I've put off getting into it like really deeply. But the first two are like so good, but then after that, it just what's even going on here? But this latest one was okay. I thought they did a good job trying to. It felt a lot like Pulp Fiction, the way how it was directed. And I felt like they did a really good job there trying to revitalize the series or bring a fresh take to the series. So that was a really good watch. Have to finish that one. And what else? I watched some other things. Oh, also not anime related. The latest Pinky Blinders movie. I thought they did a good job finalizing that story. Wrapping everything up, giving Tommy his send off. Tommy, what's his name? Tommy? I forget. The main character, the guy that can really act. I thought they did a decent job wrapping up his story and, putting in a replacement. It was good to see everything wrap up. I thought it did better than what they had to do during COVID. I thought what they the ending that they had for the COVID part was kind of rushed, understandably so. But I feel like they kind of tied up a lot of the loose endings with this movie. Time skip forward to where they are now. I think about 3-4 years into the future, and it was pretty good. So I guess I don't want to give any more spoilers away if anyone's really interested in watching it. It's called The Immortal Man, so I don't want to give too many spoilers away in case you want to watch that. But it was decent, not like crazy good, but it was decent. And also I watched The Irishman. Old, what's his name? I forgot what his name is, but it was a pretty decent mob movie. Old guys being mobsters, and they did a lot of acting. There's a lot of acting to try to make the whole thing believable, because you have a 80-70-year-old man trying to pretend to be a gangster. It was a lot of heavy makeup and I think CG in some of the scenes, but it was pretty well directed for what it was. I liked it. There are some scenes in there that were really well scripted and well acted out, and definitely will live in the memory. And I love the ending too. It was just like a reminder that type of life only ends in one way, or two ways: dead or in jail. I guess just dead in general, because you're probably gonna die in jail. But yeah, that one was also really good. And my bad. I said Apothecary Diaries. I actually meant Oshinoko. That's what I've been catching up on lately. Oshinoko has been really, really good as well, and I've been getting through on that one. And then Sentenced to Be a Hero, I thought was a really great take on the genre, and that's definitely something that I highly recommend. I really think, in terms of standouts, that one was really one of the standouts from this season. Those are probably the ones that I want to point out in terms of like stuff that I've been watching and what I've been doing lately with all of my time that I've been not playing this game. But yeah, here we go. We're pretty much done here. Just gotta tap Valley, and I think I might have enough actions to wrap everything up on this turn. If not, just trap Byleth and wait one more turn to get the final pots. We have enough actions to pin him if so desire. I just gotta figure out how to do it. But yeah, this was a pretty difficult map. Like I said, I kind of played this one by ear. I knew that I would need Sather at the very least, and then when I got into it, I kind of started to figure it out. Once I was actually in there, like using your brain sometimes in this game at the very least, it takes a lot out of you. But yeah, pin Byleth, and
We'll see it through.
gonna figure it out from here, get the pots and get out. I really like this team. Like I said, I just want to get rid of Thor. I still have not gotten any copies of what's her face, or rather Ellie would. I haven't gotten anything from that banner, so I don't know what I'm gonna do for that bonus season. But you know, hopefully something will be a bonus unit that I can actually use. And then, even though Elliewood wouldn't really fit the current meta, since a lot of it kind of inhibits calves from doing anything. And then, there's something that I just remembered. Oh, I've been getting a ton of violets lately. It's weird. I don't like him, but I've just been getting a ton of brave violets lately. Very, very odd. GG's.